As marketing communications professionals, we create marketing and branding personas. But on today's show, I'm going to walk you through the best business persona traits and markers to look for in order to set boundaries and create best practices for communication. Stay to the very end to hear the biggest trait that determines what makes the best persona. I am your host, Jacqueline Cremona. Welcome to MarComTech-niques, a podcast about marketing communications and technology. Be sure to follow us on this platform and other social media. Branding is very important. It is an intangible asset that can be purchased by another company. Goodwill on a balance sheet. For personal branding, it is your financial value. Branding is an important asset to have, so you must protect it. As honest people, we want to believe the best in others. We want to conduct business to gain partnerships and serve the community. But not everyone's on the same page. Some people lack social and emotional skills to conduct business. Miscommunication happens. Ego happens. The court system can be weaponized. Why would people use the court system to intimidate and bully? First, I am not an attorney, so consult a legal professional. First, let's define frivolous lawsuit and the penalties for filing one. A frivolous lawsuit intends to harass, annoy, disturb a person and their business. There's no chance of an actual hearing or winning the claim, and there's no good faith in filing the claim. On a good note, the state of Ohio permits the recovery of court costs, attorney fees, and other expenses incurred during the wrongful claim. Each state is different. Make sure to consult a legal professional for legal advice. There are many who are wanting to penalize attorneys for wasting the court's time. So this is nothing to take lightly. Now that we've defined what frivolous claims are and their penalties, let's talk about the possible reasons behind these claims. In marketing, for marketing strategies, we create marketing personas. We create a fictional name, demographic, needs, wants, values, and fears of a potential client. But what about a business persona? A fictional representation of ideal stakeholders and business partners. I am not a psychologist or a lawyer, but developing business personas are always helpful in business. Let's begin with characteristics for a business persona. Emotional intelligence. Harvard Business Review researchers found only 95% of people think they are self-aware. But research shows that only 10 to 15% have high emotional intelligence. That is a huge gap in self-perception and reality of how the majority of people see themselves. A lack of self-awareness and other emotions can cause frustrations among colleagues, cut down profits, and increase turnover. Higher EQ comes from understanding and controlling your emotions and understanding others. People with high EQ are generally happier and more successful with excellent leadership skills. So who is this emotional intelligent persona? It is the person who has a holistic approach, big picture thinking, an ability to identify patterns and know how to persuade, communicate, and diffuse arguments. Open to different perspectives on ideas and opposing ideologies. Full of gratitude with genuine interaction. Apologetic when wrong. These are some of the best characteristics in leadership and in business partnerships. The opposing side of these characteristics is a person who is not a holistic thinker, an individual who cannot identify new patterns, one-sided dismissive communication style, and their communication always escalates to arguments. They have the inability to hear opposing ideas. They never apologize and deflect blame. Because of the lack of developed skills, there is a higher probability for future problems. Next, we have simply the office jerk. Of course, not everyone who looks like they have lower EQ has lower EQ. We have our intentional office troublemaker, the one who doesn't care at all, the one who truly understands themselves and others, but doesn't care to control their anger and don't care how they are perceived. They are very self-aware and do not want to change, not interested in being better individuals or contribute to a positive work environment. Having the inability to tolerate nuances of conversations. In some ways, they still fall in lower EQ because of their inability to control their emotions. Next, we have personality disorder. Intentional jerks aside, the next group of people to examine are personality disorders is an infamous narcissist. They have a strong sense of entitlement, need for attention and admiration, the one who is superior to others. They want to become leaders to position themselves for power, even if on a small spectrum of power. It gives them the manipulation capabilities. As leaders, they are responsible for developing and executing strategy, which gives them the perfect cover for their behavior. Leadership roles in philanthropy also help them mask the lack of empathy because they often have a long history of body of work helping individuals. They often compete rather than cooperate or partner. An example of competition is they will copy the person they're competing with and pass it off as original, stealing credit, sabotaging reputations and brands, using half-truths to push a false narrative to mischaracterize an individual and circumstances. This type of person who will have their attorney send you threats while giving their own attorney half-truths. I used to work at a law firm when I was younger, and not all clients were honest with their own attorneys. I know that's shocking. Some examples are misrepresenting that you do not know how to do your job, processes, or protocols to discredit your knowledge in the field. They can start sending you harassing emails even after you ask them to stop sending you emails. They actually do to you what they're accusing you of. The point is to get a reaction from you to completely discredit you with your own reactions. Whether they win the case is not important. It is the power behind the intimidation. The lapse of judgment in your anger of retaliation, your reaction. So maintain all documentations, especially in states that allow compensation for frivolous lawsuits. Next is business strategy. Personas using courts as a business strategy and positioning. Frivolous claims can also be used as a business strategy to delay, prevent another business from completing a deal or having purchasing power. In some cases, some businesses' transactions cannot be completed if there's an ongoing legal proceeding. When you come from a place of abundance and not from scarcity, you treat people differently, better, with respect, appreciation, love, compassion, understanding, kindness. But when you come from a place of scarcity, you're toxic, competitive, limited, try to make others feel inadequate. Where your source of energy comes from will say a lot about how you'll treat people. Never stop helping others. Always come from a place of abundance. Volunteer, donate, make someone smile. Be appreciative even in the smallest gestures. Give allowances for honest mistakes. Always come from a place of abundance, but always remember your worth. Business personas are a great tool to evaluate your stakeholders, partners, and determine a communication style that can help protect and set boundaries and expectations. Thank you for joining us on the program. Make sure to follow, subscribe on all of our social media platforms, and sign up for our emails.